Welcome to episode number 18 of the Blitz Take. I am here with Ben Chase, and I'm really excited to hear what he has to say about his road trip that he is beginning to do, which he has already begun, and there is a lot to what he has in store, and I'm really excited to have him on and listen to what he has to say.
Yeah, Alex, thanks for inviting me on. You're the first person to reach out to me, and I always love to just talk about everything. A little background. Yeah, my name is Ben Chase. I am an attorney who did NIL work, name, image, and likeness for college athletes, for a little bit, and then I left my company a few weeks ago, and I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna do that dream trip that everyone always talks about. I've every year I'm known for road trips. I've driven from Orlando to Portland and back in 16 days. I've driven from Orlando to College Station in Texas for a game. So this is kind of like in my wheelhouse. Everyone, when I did it, they're like, "Oh, this is not a surprise at all." But it is kind of crazy because I don't really have any. Like I have a soft outline, but financially, like I'm gonna be spending a lot of money, but it's gonna be worth it. I'm pretty stoked.
So my first question is, what did you think about the Nevada New Mexico State game that you attended?
Oh yeah, so my first game was at New Mexico State. I'd never been to a game for either team. The company I worked for previously was we did do stuff with University of Nevada football, so it's kind of ironic that that was the first game. I honestly, the venue, New Mexico State's stadium it's a pretty unique stadium, surrounded by mountains, which is kind of cool. Everyone there was super welcoming. They had basically the way they had their tailgate set up is they had all the students and fraternities in one giant field, and then all the alumni were in the parking lot. So I was able to kind of go between both. I didn't know anyone going to the game. I kind of went in, took a lap. I met the mascot, Pistol Pete. That was kind of cool. And then I kind of just roamed around, and I asked a lady and her husband that were playing cornhole. I said, "Hey, do you guys have an extra ticket at all?" Because they were at a tailgate, and they said, "Sure." And they grabbed me one, and they said, "Do you want a drink and to hang out?" And I said, "All right." And then I kind of did that, and the game was competitive. I think New Mexico State should have won the game. They missed a few plays, two or three plays, but overall, it was a great first game, and I can't ask for a better start to this road trip of hopefully 60 games.
What was the type of atmosphere like outside of the stadium?
Yeah, that's a good question. So, it was buzzing. Everyone's just happy for college football to be back, and that's why I'm doing this. I love meeting people and hearing their stories and finding people that are passionate about something and rallying around something. And around that stadium, the college student section was a party. It was packed. This field was packed. And then the alumni section where the parking was, it was busy. It was busy. It wasn't the game didn't sell out, but also it didn't help. Uh, in the second quarter, there was a lightning delay, so we had to leave the game. And then when we came back, not everyone came back because they just were like, "All right, we're just going to leave, or we're going to go tailgate." So that was a little bit of an issue, but the outside atmosphere was fun.
What did you plan to do after the game?
What did I end up doing after the game?
Yeah.
So after the game, I roamed around the stadium a little bit. I actually I didn't sneak back in, but I kind of just walked back in when it was empty and got a cool photo and video of me just saying "Good night, New Mexico." And then I walked back to the tailgate that they invited me at, and I kind of hung out there for a little bit. They gave me some free food. I had some really nice tacos. I mean, New Mexico State's right there by the border, so I don't think there's a better place to get tacos. I mean, I lived in Tucson and San Diego, and these were some good tacos.
Hmm.
So yeah, did that and then laid low. I actually slept in my car for a little bit, and then I drove back to Tucson, and I can. So yeah, that's what I did.
What are your thoughts on the game that you will be attending, um, which is Pittsburgh, West Virginia?
What are my thoughts on the game? Oh
Uh,
wow!
like, what are your thoughts on uh, seeing them play against each other?
Well, it's the first time they played since 2015, I believe. 2000, no, 2000. This is a rivalry that's been going on forever. The Backyard Bash or Brawl, and they haven't played, I think, in 11 years.
Mhm.
So I just got into the city literally 45 minutes ago, and I parked over by the stadium. I see. Let me see if I can turn the filter off real quick. I don't see. It doesn't matter. Literally, I'm in a Walmart. I'm in a Wendy's not McDonald's parking lot right now, and I can see the stadium. It's right here behind me or in front of me. And I walked by, and it's buzzing. I've seen people with West Virginia gear, Pittsburgh gear. I actually saw the West Virginia equipment bus pull in as I was driving by. And I guess there's like a chili festival or something here too, or a barbecue festival that starts tomorrow. So the city is buzzing.
Mhm.
So it's going to be exciting. I don't have a ticket yet, so that's kind of going to be an adventure. And these tickets are expensive. I think last time I looked on TickPick, they were like $200.
Mhm.
But I'm hoping to get one. I'm hoping to get one before the game at a significantly cheaper rate.
So, do you plan on doing tailgate before?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm just gonna do. I don't know anyone here. I actually, my friend, my best friend from elementary school, his mom went to West Virginia or knows or is from West Virginia, and she said she'll connect me with people. So I may be able to go to West Virginia tailgate. Mind you, one of my rules is to go for the home team, and this is Pittsburgh is the home team. So if I show up in Pittsburgh stuff to a West Virginia game or tailgate, that'll kind of be weird. But I'm figuring it out. Actually, I saw that the West Virginia they're expecting 75% of the tickets to be sold to West Virginia fans, even though it's in Pittsburgh.
So my next question is, what are your thoughts on the Utah game against Florida on September 3rd?
Oh, so I don't know if you know this, but I am a Florida Gator,
Mm-hmm.
so I am pumped for that. Man, it's our first game with our new head coach Billy Napier. We have our Heisman hopeful quarterback Anthony Richardson going against another Heisman hopeful quarterback Cam Rising. I've listened to a lot of media around this game, and some people are saying it's the biggest home opener in Utah's history. Like this is from an expectation standpoint. They're number 7 in the country. We are not ranked. I think we have some votes. We're probably in the 35 area, but when the swamp is popping, it is popping, and this will be the biggest game in Tucson in Gainesville since Alabama played there just last year, or was that last year? Yeah, and that was a huge game too. So that it's a sold out game. I'm gonna get. I think I have a ticket for that one. But I'm excited. That there's very few crowds I've been in that are as special as Florida, and I'm obviously biased.
Mm-hmm. So, looking ahead to September 4th, what are your thoughts on the FSU LSU game?
Yeah. So for a little context, I'm going to 5 games in 5 days. So I'm starting tomorrow. West Virginia, Pittsburgh, which is in Pittsburgh. Then I'm driving to Charlotte to see the Charlotte game, William Mary Charlotte, smaller game, but it still matters. Then I'm going to Gainesville on Saturday for Utah against UF, and then I'm driving. This was the LSU game in New Orleans, FSU at LSU. I went to UF, so FSU is my rival, and LSU is also one of my rivals. We play them every year, so I honestly think LSU is going to smack them. FSU's offensive line is kind of risky right now, but there's nothing more fun than partying in New Orleans and Baton Rouge. So I just hope that I can go out, have a good time. Actually, I'm invited to a tailgate there, so that'll be a good time. And it's gonna be hard, like 5 days in a row of driving and going to football games. I'm worried about my voice from like screaming and yelling, much less my liver from having a few
Mm-hmm.
adult beverages. But no, it'll be a good time.
So, what are other games where you'd be making the trip to?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I have a soft outline. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick, and I'll just highlight some of the big games. I'd say soft outline because I want to be flexible, and a lot of the times aren't out for these games. So like I can say I want to go to this game and then this game immediately after, but I may screw myself up, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. So week 2, I'm going to arguably the biggest game of week 2, which is Alabama at Texas,
Mm-hmm.
and that's in Austin. So that'll be a super fun game. Let's see what we got. I'm seeing West Virginia again, but at Virginia Tech, which that'll be a great. I think that's Blacksburg, Virginia. I think that's where that one
Mm-hmm.
is. That'll be big. Let's see. Who's your college team?
I like Penn State.
Penn State. So I may be
Yeah.
going to the whiteout. I may be going to the whiteout on September 22nd. No, wait. September or October 22nd, maybe. Maybe I may be going to the White House on a whiteout on October 22nd. I'm going to Ohio State game. I know that. And then the West Coast games are kind of up in the air just because it's going to take me a long time to. I literally just got in for your listeners. I just drove from Tucson to Pittsburgh in about 40 hours, which is not as fast as I could have done, but I took my time. But that was 2,100 miles just to get here. And then at some point, I have to drive back across the country and then back across the country again. So it's going to be great. Actually, you know what I think about? I have to drive. I'm driving one way to do some games over here, another way to do some games back. Man, I may be driving coast to coast 3 times because the national championship is in California.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's okay. I'm excited for it. I'll have time because the national championship game is like a whole week after the bowl game, so I'll have a week to drive across the country. So that's not too bad.
While you were talking about that, I was thinking to myself, at least you don't have to pay for every single flight.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, and I enjoy driving. Like my, if I could describe myself in like 3 words, it's road trips, which I guess is 2 words, and college football, which is 2 words. So 4 words: road trips and college football. That's what I love.
Are you going to go to any game at Georgia?
At Georgia, that's a good question. I think I have them on my schedule. Let's see. I got to be careful with that, right? Says there, I won't be wearing any Gator stuff there. I would get chewed out. So right now on my schedule, November 5th, I have Tennessee at Georgia, which could be a big game for the SEC East crown if Florida is not in it and if Kentucky's not in it. So that's so yes, I have them on my schedule right now. I also have another game as an option there. But I've heard Athens is great, so I would want to be there and blend in. I've only been to one game at Florida State too. So I just kind of avoid those territories.
So my next question is, over the years, what has been your favorite college football game you have attended?
That's a great question. So obviously, I'm going to take out all the UF games because those are special. I've been to 2 games at Auburn in 2017. I went to the Iron Bowl, which is Alabama at Auburn, and the Georgia at Auburn. And Auburn won both of those games. And for the Alabama game, I got to storm the field with all the fans. We stormed the field, and what's crazy is that actually ended up being the year that Alabama and Georgia played in the national championship the first time, and Alabama won. So Auburn beat both of them, and then lost in the SEC championship, so they didn't get to go to the national championship, obviously. So that's probably the biggest, most fun game I've been to for sure. Alabama, Georgia.
Yeah. So my next question is, will you be attending any bowl games once the time comes?
Yeah. So my goal is to go to 60 college football games on a road trip. So I think it's the most college football games ever on a road trip. I'm not sure. I saw in 2016 two brothers did 50 together, and then I met a guy on Twitter who said he's been to 81 games, but I asked him if he flew to any, or he drove, and he didn't answer me, even though he's following me on Twitter. And I don't know. I think I'm going to say for now that 60 road trip games is the record, and I'm going to go for it, and that includes bowl games. Like I'm going to go to so many bowl games, and I'd hope to go to the national championship game. Like that's going to be an expensive ticket, obviously, like a few $100s. But if I get to that point, you got to just go for it.
Yeah. So my last question is, who do you think will win tomorrow's Penn State game?
Ooh, Penn State at Purdue?
Yeah.
So that's a good question. My grandma went to Purdue, so I have bias, but I also was helping work on an NIR collective for Penn State. So I'm in the air. I think that it's going to be a tough. It's Purdue is on the up and up right now, so I'm going to pick Purdue because of my loyalty to my grandma. Unfortunately, don't be mad at me. but I'm riding with the Boilermakers.
I think it's going to be tighter than a lot of people think.
Oh, for sure.
I feel like it might go into overtime to
That would be crazy. I wouldn't be shocked if it
yeah.
did. Didn't Penn
But
State have an overtime game last year?
I forget who they played in the
They
opener.
had, yeah, it went to like 7 overtimes or something,
Oh, I think he went. Yeah, 7. Yeah,
or like 5 or 7. It's like you're going for 2 points and 2 points or something. I don't
yeah,
remember.
yeah.
No, yeah, I think it'll be a good game. I won't be mad if Penn State wins. Like my uncle is a Penn State fan, but my grandma
Mhm.
my uncle is not my grandma's son. Is so, but it's all good. But do you
I
think? How about what about you? Do you think Penn State has a chance to make some noise in the Big Ten this year?
Oh, absolutely. I think they got a bigger chance to upset the Buckeyes this year.
Yeah. Well, I'm here for it.
Yeah,
I mean, was it Sean Clifford is the QB?
yeah. Sean Clifford. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, he's been there for a while. He's a good leader, and I think you guys have a good shot. Like, I think I wouldn't be shocked if you guys lose at Purdue and then go on a huge run and beat a bunch of people,
Hmm.
beat Ohio State. I mean, I am okay with Ohio State losing all the time. As a, it's funny as a Gator,
Yeah.
like Ohio State's one of our least favorite teams, obviously
Hmm.
because of Urban Meyer, but we also beat them in the national championship in basketball and in football in the same year. But yeah, so I have a how many? What's your what's the your typical like who what kind of this is a Philadelphia based kind of podcast? Sorry, I'm asking this during your
That's
interview.
right. Um, I No, it's like around the country. So
Oh,
I
okay,
I reach out to a bunch of other people on Twitter. Uh,
nice.
like like last episode, I did a podcast with someone who reports for the San Francisco 49ers.
What? That's awesome.
Yeah. And I've done a podcast with a Ohio State Buckeye writer.
Oh wow. So yeah, this
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to subscribe. I have so much time on the road trip.
Yeah. This is the 18th episode.
Wow. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I may have to listen to a few of them. I won't listen to my own because that's kind of weird.
Yeah. So my second part of that question is what are you going to have the time to catch the Ohio State game Saturday night?
Saturday night. Well,
Yeah.
against Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Well, I think they play at the same time as UF. So I will be paying attention to it because our kickoff's at 7, so I assume theirs is at 7 or 8 as well, right?
7:30.
7:30. So yeah, they'll be
Yeah.
going on the same time. So I'll be keeping tabs on it. I'm sure. Uh, Hopefully wherever I'm at, I'll have reception to kind of stream it on my phone. But I mean, the Gators are going to take priority, especially because it's the only Gator game I'm going to go to this year, unless they're like
Hmm.
in the Sugar Bowl or something.
Also, I just wanted to add one more question.
Sure.
Who do you think will win the Big Ten this year?
I mean, I think it's going to be Ohio State. They're just so
Mhm.
loaded. Uh,
Yeah.
I mean, I would love to see Penn State or Wisconsin or I mean Michigan, I guess. Like I think the top teams are all, those four, and Michigan State may make some noise, but like I think Ohio State's just they're so talented, unfortunately.
Yeah. uh, it's been great talking to you, and I hope to have you back on.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah,
to
maybe
maybe
like
to
after throughout the
sorry,
schedule. Yeah, I mean,
yeah, to like recap games and things like that.
definitely. I mean, after maybe like so I'm trying to go to 60 games, maybe every 15 games we catch up and you can
Hmm.
make fun of me and uh check out my videos. And
Yeah.
yeah, that's sounds like yeah. Let's book it. Keep me. I'm down. Hopefully, it won't be in a McDonald's parking lot next time.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah, man. I hope you have a good time.
Thank you. You too.